Welcome to today's video. I'm Sue from createwithsue.com and we're going to look at using some 3D Puff HTV. Covering lots of things in the video. We're covering finding a font, installing the font, using it in Canvas Workspace, creating, using Fit to Path and creating the curve of the font, so we're editing. I'm also going to edit the font because I wasn't quite happy with how it was. I thought it was going to finish up, so we've edited it in the video as well. And then we've gone out and sent it to the machine and cut it out and pressed it. Now, I had a few techie problems as well in this video, so you get that. And also the results weren't quite as I expected, which is a bit disappointing, but you'll see. And I go over some tips on improving those results, and so you have better time for your attempt. Anyway, I'll see you over at the Canvas Workspace. Talk to you soon. So I'm going to look for a font that I like, and I'm in Creative Fabrica. I've got a subscription with Creative Fabrica, so it's actually a really good value for me. However, because many of you may not have a subscription yet, I'm going into the freebies section. So we've got a list of freebies here: free embroidery, free classes. I've got classes in on Creative Fabrica as well if you're interested in joining them. But we're going to free fonts this time. So free fonts. And I want something a little bit funky, I guess. So there's heaps and heaps of fonts in here. Looking at fonts like this are great for cutting machines. There's fonts that would be suitable for drawing with your drawing tools. And this one here would be really nice cut out. So there's heaps of fonts. These are all in the free section. That one would probably be pretty good too. I like that one. It's not quite what I want. When you're looking for a font for Puff, you need something not very detailed. It needs to be relatively chunky and not too much detail, because as soon as it puffs, it loses that detail and you run into a bit of fun. I'll use that word. A bit of fun if it gets a bit close to each other. So I'm in page 2 and I'm scrolling through. Oh, I love this one. This one I've got called Monkey, which is very similar to this one, and I actually love it for vinyl. When you pull out that little piece in there, it looks great with vinyl. But that's not what I want today, because that too will not be a good font for Puff. This one would be a good one, but I think I want it a little bit funkier than that. This one would be very good too, but that's not quite what I want either. Going to page 3, there's hundreds on here. Hundreds. And these are still all in the free section. This is kind of where I might like to be. Funky. That's what we want. It's a funky one. Let's go in to have a look at this one. So a really good thing about this is you can actually test it out. So this one's got a few pictures to look at. Yep. But down here, if you scroll down a little bit, scroll down, there's a little section here that says try this font. So, which is exactly what I'm going to do. And I want this in capital, so see what this is going to look like. And I'm just going to use the word crafty. And so you can see it's written it there. That's what it's going to look at, but I'm going to make it big because I'm going to do a big one. So it'll expand it up to 72 points in the demo. And this actually looks not bad. I think we'll give this one a go. So we'll go up here and we'll download this font. And I'm already logged in, so it's just downloaded it for me. And we'll go and install it. So I'm on a PC, so this has downloaded I'm in Explorer. It's downloaded to my downloads folder, and there it is right there, Funky Retro. So I normally put this somewhere other than in my downloads folder. So I would just do Control X or cut. Basically, that's cut. Control plus the X key is cut, and I would put it in. I have a folder called Commercial Fonts because this is a commercially able to be used commercially. So I'd put it in my folder called Commercial Fonts. But today we're just going to extract it right here and install it. So that's fine. So you'll look up here and you'll see Extract All. So click on that and it's going to extract it to the Downloads folder. That's okay for today. And I've got it so it's opened. And I should have actually shown you that's a little checkbox that you can check where it will open the folder that you've installed it to. And you can either turn that checkbox off or on. If you're doing a lot, I turn it off, and if I'm just doing one, I often have it on. So we have a choice with this font, open type or true type. Open type's often good for cutting machines, but I am actually going to go with true type today. Do not install both. That's probably my best tip is choose one. But the true type font is an older font format. Open type's a newer one. Some things run better with open type, but I'm going to have a go with the true type. Just don't install both. And all you do is double click and it will show you what's in the font. Actually, when I was on the site, you can actually, this one doesn't have very much, I don't think, but you can also view the glyphs or the extra characters for fonts while you're in that section of Creative Fabrica as well. So to install this, you just go install. I must have already installed this one. Oh, well, there we go. We'll just go yes. We'll just install it again. That's okay. I didn't know I had that one. I thought I had one similar, but it must be exactly the same one. Okay, I will see you over in Canvas Workspace next. Alright, I'm in the downloaded version of Canvas Workspace. And I've got the shapes open. I don't need that open. Let's just close that up. And I'll make my mat a little bit bigger so you can see it easily. And we're going to add some text. And here on the left is the text tool. And we are going to type. And I'm going to use capitals. And I am just going to use that word crafty. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so there's the wording, and up here you'll notice that there is the selection that drops down with all the fonts, and it was called Funky, so it will be in the F's, and we'll scroll down to look for it in the under F. Here we go, Funky Retro. That's a bit small for what I want. So we can go over here into the left panel and we can resize it here. Oh, sorry, the left panel. In the right panel. Silly me. Over here in the right hand side panel under Edit. So you'll see these are labelled. Properties, Edit. I do have some extra ones. That's for the rhinestone kit. This is the layers panel, and this is to change your artboard. So many of you won't have that rhinestone icon on here. And you can have the maintain aspect ratio on, and you can actually just change that. I think I want it about 8. What have I got it in inches? So you can change from millimetres to inches as well in the artboard section. I often work in inches just because. Oh, yeah, that's not too bad. I think actually that is not going to be such a good choice because see that little dot in the A there? That may not be big enough. I might make it a bit bigger. All right, we'll do some alteration of this while we're at it. Wasn't in my plan, but that's okay. All right, open the shapes, and I am going to make this a little bit curved. So I'm going to use the fit to path function in the downloaded version. And I only want it to be a little curved, so I'm just going to stretch this oval out so it gives it a bit of a curve there. So all I've done is grab this right hand handle. If you want it to go out in proportions, you can grab it with one of the corner handles. See, the cursor has changed, or you can change it over here on the right. Just watch the right hand side, you'll see changes as I move this along. So I've gone just past the crafty wording, and next I'm just going to select, put the magic box around and select all of them, and we will scroll down to the text. So this one here is the fit to path tool. If you hover over it, fit to path, and we are going to click on that, and you can see that it's done a wacky do thing, which is perfectly fine. This little cross handle here will let you drag this around that circle as far as you want, so you can really create any shape that you want. And we're just going to put it roughly in the middle of that oval shape. And I can also see that that's a little bit close, so I'm going to have to change some features on this font to make it look okay with Puff. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to make any changes prior to getting this exactly on the fit to path line that you want. So you need to make all the changes with the fit to path before you convert it to shape, which is over here on the right. So before you click that button, you need to make any changes that you want. So we are going to go into this panel up here, the properties panel on the right, and scroll down, and we have some options here. You'll see a number of options. We can change our path direction, which we don't really want to do. We could slide that around and sit it on the inside there, but it's a little bit squished for this font and the size of it. We'd have to change our shape size to this because it's crossing over itself and it's just not quite what we want. And we'll undo both of those. Need to select it for, I'll just click away. You'll see these are greyed out on the right. With it not selected, you need to select it for them to activate. So that's the path direction. You can change where it sits on the curve. So I want it on the top. And here you can change the spacing. So we are going to just space it out a little more. And I don't like how spaced that is, but we'll fix that in a minute. So I've got it at character 3. You can also change it to, not all fonts have this option, but some fonts have bold, regular, oblique changes it a bit like italics, I suppose, that's probably the word, and bold italic. I don't know why they call it oblique, but they do. Seems odd to me. So this was bold and regular. A quick tip, if you are working with fonts and you want to weld and you're having trouble welding, if it's in bold, it may not weld. Sometimes you get little twisted nodes and that. So regular is a good way to go to get out of trouble for that. I will go with bold. I'm not going to weld anything. Although I might divide, and sometimes you have trouble with that too. So we'll see how we go. We'll come back to that if we need to. All right, so I'm just going to take it around the curve a little bit more, just so it's a bit more even. Actually, that might fix some of my problem up, taking it there. Because one of the things I wasn't happy with, it was quite a big gap there, but that's actually not too bad now. All right, we'll go back into the edit, and once you're happy with it, you can convert it to shape. So this turns it into a cut file. It will make this a cut file and remove the shape that you've used to create the fit to path feature. That will remove that. We'll go convert to shape, and you can see that oval shape has gone, and we have this curved shape. Just click away. I might just add a bit of colour so you can see. I don't normally worry with the colour, but we'll just add some colour so you can see. Of course, I went for pink. Of course I did. I'm still a little concerned about that little tiny piece there. I'll just zoom right in. So I'm at 50%, that's 100%, so that's roughly how big. And actually you can just see there's a little twisty node there too. So I'll just get the text tool, the select tool back. See that little twist there? It's going to twist. I am going to create a new little centerpiece. And I could actually just copy one of these. That would give a very similar, or I could put a little heart in there. I know we might do a bit of an oval. I've made it small, and I'm just going to swivel it around, and I'm going to make it a bit smaller. I might make it a bit shrinkier there. And we'll go into the edit, and we will subtract. So I've just used the subtract. You can still see it's actually broken up all the bits. Get rid of that little piece in the middle there. Oh, not that piece. So we'll go, if you can't grab it, go into the layers panel, and no, it's not going to let me do it there either. I'm going to do it little bit by little bit because I can't quite grab it enough to do what I want to do. So I'm just going to delete little bits of it at the time, and any minute will be gone. I think that's okay to remove as well, and that one. I think I've got it all. So you can see over here on the right that is that shape there. It's sort of separated from the others. Let's close that box so we can see what we're doing. Just wondering how we're going with these shapes. It's still okay. Good. I'll zoom back out so we can see a bit better what's here. Now, when I divided, you can see that these are all separate now. They've all got their own separate box. So right now is when we could, I'm just going to use my arrow key. We can move them over a little bit. Just moving them around a little bit so I can twist them. That one could have a little bit of a twist too. I'm a bit worried about that together, but I guess we'll be alright. Going to look like a bit of a blob with the puff. Twist that one a little bit more. When you're happy with it, save it. I'm going to go save as. This is going to save it as a CWPRJ file, so I create Canvas Workspace project file, and we will just go up there. Crafty puff design. Okay, so CWPRJ file is a design file in the downloaded version. You can save off the mat, you can save colours. It saves all the creative components. It will not send to your cutting machine, so it's not one for sending to your machine, or if you wanted to put it on your USB, you would need to go File and Export there, and this one would be for the USB and this one would be to your cutting machine. I'll send that to the cutting machine and see how we go. And there it's gone. So I could have grouped this with the A, and that's probably might have been a good idea because it will cut this piece out first. That's okay. I don't mind if it cuts that out first. And that little A change looks quite good. Should show up still on the puff. All right, I'll see you at the cutting machine. Okay, so we're at the machine, and I've got the HTV on my mat with the shiny side down, and I've used tape just to hold it down. I've got actually the full roll on there. I sometimes do that, and I've just got the roll resting on my knee. It just depends if I want to cut it off first or afterwards, and this time I'm just going to have a little go at cutting it off afterwards. We'll go into retrieve data, and if you've got the design on stored on your machine, it will be here. If you brought it over by USB, you'll select this one. If you've got your computer connected via the USB port, this is the one. But I've sent mine via Wi-Fi, so this is the one I will choose. And we'll retrieve the file across the Wi-Fi. And here it's on the screen. Now I've actually forgotten to do something. What I normally would like to do is to group this in Canvas Workspace, but also because we're cutting HTV, I need to mirror it, and I haven't done either of those. So if I tap the letters, you'll see these are all separate letters. So that's not the way you can mirror it. You need to actually group it to mirror, or it will mirror each one of these letters separately and it won't be mirrored properly. So we'll go into the edit panel and we will select all the pieces. Now we can just move the mat by choosing this one, and it will give us some arrows to change the sizing. And you could just select if you had something else down here that you didn't want to mirror perhaps, you would leave that down here and then just mirror that, or group if you're grouping. But we're going to do the whole lot, so we'll just go OK, and it's automatically popped it onto the other screen. So you just normally tap this one. Depends what you need to do. Either way is perfectly fine. It's just depending on what the outcome you want is. And we will go OK. And so the first thing we'll do is, before we mirror, is to group it. We've got Object Edit, and this one down here on the left here is the group icon. And you can see that those, I'll just ungroup it for a second. You can see all the separate red boxes. And when you click on the group, you've got one red box. So they're all in one piece. And it also gives a range of options that you can use as well. This one here is mirror or flip. So we will flip it. And you can see it's flipped the whole design. And we will go OK. And we'll go OK again. Because I didn't realise that the HTV was only a 10-inch roll, not a 12-inch roll. And this just might need some adjustment in size.
It's not far off of 10-inch, so I can see on the mat there that it's kind of 10-inch. Might be okay, but we will scan it just to make sure. So I'm going to scan my mat. This is this icon here. We'll go OK. And this will show me where the HTV is located. I have located it on the left-hand side, so it'll just make sure that it fits. Okay, so there it is. If you can't see it properly, you go into the tools and you have an option for background. So I've got it on the dark background. Do the light background. You can still see it. You can see there's a difference. So sometimes it's better on the darker background. See, that's quite darker. This one's actually all right for this. And we will just move this up because I'm going to cut it up near the top. But I can also see that it's only just fitting. So if it doesn't quite fit or you need to make some adjustments, you go back into the edit panel and go object edit, and we've got it selected, so object edit. And this on the top left will alter the size. And you have an option of this button here, or this icon here, will alter it separately from the height to the width. Will alter separate. So if you click on that and you just change, I'll come up from the top so my hand's not so much in the way. It only is changing the height, but that's not what we want. We actually want the width. So we can change just the width if we want to. And that is only, you can see the 66 height is not changing. And that might actually be the best option for this. But if you deselected that, so it's white again, and you altered the width, you'll see that the height changes as well. And that's nearly fitting. So we'll just try a couple more. So that should be fine. So we'll go OK and OK and OK and OK, lots of OKs. And then we'll go up here and select to cut. Now in this screen you have the option of turning on your half cut if you're on an SDX machine. So you can see it's already on. If it's not, just go in here to the icon, the tools icon, and scroll down one, and you'll see the half cut on here. So you can turn it off or on. To adjust the cut pressure, this is this next line. I normally start on auto and then do a test cut, and if it's not quite right, then I will come in and adjust it. But I always start on auto because usually the machine's pretty good in guesstimating the depth. But that's where you would change that here. And so I've got it on. OK. And we'll pop a test cut on. And that's a good spot for it. Sometimes it lands all sorts of places. That's a pretty good spot. It's not going to use. And we will go start. So we'll cut the design out, and then we will weed it. The test cut was a little bit hard to find. So if you have trouble finding it, use your weeding tool. It's very hard to get out. Sometimes we'll get that in camera a bit better. It's better. I just use a Cricut weeding tool. But you can use any weeding tool to get your triangle out. And we will have a look at how it's cut. And I forgot to use the weeding box, which makes this a really good process. So if you've got the option to use the weeding box for vinyl, it's really handy. I'm leaving this on the mat to weed. I normally just test it to make sure it has cut through properly to exactly where I want. and then remove it from the mat and weed because it's much easier. But because I've got the camera set up, I'll weed it here, and it's just a little bit more awkward doing it this way. But once you've got it started, just peel it back onto itself, and the big pieces come out really, really easily usually. So this is going quite well. So I'm just holding it down onto the mat so it doesn't lift off the mat, but it shouldn't anyway. So I'm just going to keep pulling this back. I actually like weeding, but not the really complex ones so much because I can't see very well. But this big stuff's super easy. So you need to remember to take the centres out of the lettering as well. So the weeding tool is a good one for that. Just grab a little corner and it will peel up. This is actually super easy to weed. And it's a good idea to double check to make sure that you have weeded all the centres out of the letters, because I've done that before too, forgotten the centre out of an A. But I had a little fix for that. I add a little flower over the top and you'd never know. So there's our crafty done. And you can see it's mirrored. Flip it over the other way and it's exactly how it's going to be. So we'll go over in a moment and press this. Okay, so we've got the instructions. So the HTV rod comes in boxes like this. And the instructions for the Puff heat transfer says to mirror, cut the design with a cutter and with appropriate parameters. That just means your settings. Specifications, so you can use your iron or it also gives you the information for your cricket and silhouette. Notice they don't say brother scan and cut, but you can cut any vinyl. Any vinyl that the cricket can cut, so can the scan and cut. Settings may be based on blade conditions and that. So we do the test cut. That's why we do the test cut. So it just makes sure it's right. And then it talks about the heat press or an home iron. And it's 300 to 320 for 10 to 15 seconds. Now, I'll have to go and convert that 320. I think it's about 180 maybe, 160. I think it might be about 160, but I'll go and check that on the phone is where I'll check that. So it does say to preheat the garment, moisture and wrinkles. Do not iron directly on the transfer. And it's actually a cool peel. So that's a very important thing. It's important to remember to mirror, and it's important to work out whether the time and temperature, and also whether it's a hot peel or a cool peel. But this one's a cool peel. Okay. So I'll see you over at the press. So I'm using a roller, sticky roller that you clean lint off, like a lint roller, and that'll clean any excess. I didn't used to use this, but then I had a little bit of a mishap one day, and so now I do. So just make sure there's no bits on your top or whatever you're pressing if it's material. And I've just used that one. I'm going to get a bit better one. I didn't like mine. Mine's a fairly cheap one. You can use a cheap one. I don't love that one. It's hard to separate. So I've got the heat press heating up. We're going with 160 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds, which is what it converted to. Place the design on and make sure there's no bits. I've got a little bit stuck to the sticky. So when you peel your vinyl off of your carrier sheet, you'll find that that's very sticky. The back of that is quite sticky, and if you put it down in the wrong spot, you'll pick up whatever bits are left there. So be careful how you put that down. I've got a bit of protective sheeting under there. I'm going to put some more on top, just so it's right. Line it up how you want it. I'm always fiddling and faddling. That's okay. And then press it in. Don't burn your fingers. I do have heat gloves there. I sometimes use them. I mostly use them actually. I shouldn't say I sometimes use them. I do mostly use the heat gloves. and we'll see what this looks like. Now, I haven't used this vinyl before, this puff vinyl, and so it is a cool peel, so we just have to wait till it cools down a little bit before I can peel it off and check how it's going. I can see through it. It's still hot. And I can see it's missed some spots. So I'm going to put it in again and press it again for a little bit longer. So it's not great that it missed some spots. It's a bit of a nuisance. I'll check it again. I can't peel it yet, but I can see, and it's missed the A there. Quite hot, so if you're touching, be careful. You can see being very gentle. It's missed a little bit on the top of the A there. You can't actually see it. I've got a fix for that. I'm going to use my little handy dandy little small iron, because I don't want to press the rest again, because it may wreck the other parts of the design that look like they have puffed properly, but that little spot there isn't very good. This little mini press is a HTV Ront one, and it's pretty easy to use. You just turn the button on at the front and it heats up, and you've got 3 settings on it. Comes with a little stand, and you just put it back on its stand. And once it's heated, I'll give it a go, because it allows me to just press exactly where I want, which is just only that spot. I don't know why. I don't know why that little spot didn't do what it was meant to do, but it didn't. And we'll check it again. And I've put the little mini heat press back down on the stand, and it's still it's not bad. I don't love this, because I think I wished I'd used a bit thinner font, and it's very grainy, very, very grainy. And if I hadn't edited the A's, and you know how I edited the A in the Canvas workspace, if I hadn't edited that, that would have just been a big blob. So I'm glad I edited that. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind, is to remember to make sure you've got enough room around your lettering for puff. And if you did this same design in normal vinyl, like a HT vinyl, just not puff, it would be fine. You wouldn't have even had to edit it. Anyway. Okay, so here's the finished project. The A fixed up. Overall, I am not thrilled with how this is puffed. It looks it's very bubbly puff. So if you like bubbly puff, that's great. It's kind of the bubbliest puff I've seen. So this could be a time and temperature issue. I may have done, so next time I'm going to try a little bit less temperature and a bit less time. Although I still did have that trouble with the A, didn't I? Now this is what I was trying to say when choosing the font. You can see that the R here is joined basically, so it's sort of lost its dimension. It's only a little tiny gap. We started with quite a good gap, but the puff seems to spread wide, if I can describe it like that. So you can see the A, we had a perfect circle or a perfect oval with the A, but it looks good. But if we had left that small, tiny little cutout for the A, it would have been a bit more like this. Very tiny. See, this is still tiny. This is tiny. So it's just something to take into consideration when you're choosing a font, what you're actually going to create with it. So this is joined up, and this was not joined up in the actual cutout. Where have I got that card? I've seen the bin, I think. I've just rescued this out of the bin. I don't know whether you can see with this. You might be able to. This is our scrap. our scrap puff. And just comparing, you can see that was quite a reasonable gap there well, I think it's a reasonable gap, but it's actually closed over. So puff kind of spreads, and this is pretty typical of puff in general. So when you're choosing your font, make sure you choose a fairly open, which is why I've adjusted some of these distances as well when we were creating the design. So hope you enjoyed this tutorial and some tips on what to do and what not to do when using puff. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye.